Now, a lot of us thought at the end of this season it would be Cito Gaston's last with the Toronto Blue Jays, but we were somewhat surprised today as he was dismissed.
Yeah, I think everybody, Darren, you're right, wondering about the timing. The Cito years were mostly kind to the Blue Jays, winning teams, pennants, world championships, but never, in Cito's mind, the respect he deserved for leading the ball club to all that glory. The whining turned to losing, and Cito took the heat and finally got the pink slip. Just 5 days before the end of the season, the Cito Gaston era is now over.
We had an excellent conversation today. There was no malice. Cito will choose to go out in his own style. We discussed options today on how we would address this situation, and the ultimate result we came up with was that he would walk away today.
With that, the Blue Jays general manager Gord Ash brought to an end Cito Gaston's tenure as Toronto's manager. Over 9 seasons, he led the Jays to 4 division titles and 2 World Series wins. But since the '93 World Series, there have been 4 losing seasons. Still, Gord Ash emphasizes the blame cannot fall entirely on Cito Gaston.
Well, it's not a one-man operation. When we were successful because we all worked together. When we're not successful, it's because we have not worked together to get the good results that we need to have. So, you know, every aspect of the organization is at blame, and unfortunately, it's a fact of professional sporting life that the man on the field or the man behind the bench is in the direct line of fire, and he's going to take that responsibility right now.
He's not throwing the ball or hitting the ball, and a lot of times I think the manager takes the fall for guys that didn't perform out on the field. And the bottom line is, the players, we didn't do a good job this year.
Cito and I had a very close relationship. We were very good friends, and when you work as close as we have and spend as much time together at the ballpark and on the road, it's very tough.
There's still some gray areas now. Of course, no one knows who's going to be the replacement for next year. But I think we all have a lot of faith in Gord Ash. He's done a great job for us over the last couple of years, getting some key players. And so I'm sure he's going to do a great job finding the best manager for the job.
It's the only manager I've ever had in the big leagues, and you know, he's a great person. He's a great man. It's just, you know, it's something that the front office made the decision, and they're going by it, and we're going to see what happens after that.
Cito Gaston had been the Blue Jays hitting instructor before moving up to manage the team in May of 1989. It was then general manager Pat Gillick who chose Cito Gaston.
You know, you think about Cito, and you know, he won 4 division titles, I believe, here, 2 world championships. He did a great job while he's here, but you know, a lot of times when things don't go exactly right, you know, something there has to be a change made, and unfortunately, you know, usually it's the manager.
So Cito Gaston leaves the Blue Jays as the winningest manager in Blue Jay history. He's managed in an All-Star game, and he's won a couple of World Series. He's never won the Manager of the Year, and he told me that irks him still and feels it shows a lack of respect around the league. Now, as for the future, Gord Ash said he will have a manager in place by mid-December at the winter baseball meetings. The names we're hearing kicked around include Gene Michael, Willie Randolph, and kind of interesting but less likely, Felipe Alou and Paul Molitor. At Skydome, Brendan Connor, TSN Sports Desk.
This morning on the Fan Radio in Toronto, Cito explained his decision to leave the team.
So I didn't abandon ship or anything like that. I just thought it was best for the team. It was tough yesterday talking to the team, and I was doing pretty good till I looked around and seen Joe Carter and certainly Pat Hinkin and Woody Williams, guys have been here with me a long time, and I got kind of teary-eyed, and I thought leaving yesterday would be a little bit easier than leaving these guys on Sunday. I've taken a real beating this year in the press, and my family has been a little bit upset by some cartoons that were printed in the newspaper, and I think my whole family was a little bit upset, and friends of mine. In the same way that I think it's time to move on. I think when you start to have kids that are certainly making certain gestures to you as you leave the ballpark and even throw rocks at the car, I think it's time to move on. I think I still have a lot to share with some young people and teaching the way you should go about hitting. And so I might want to do that. As far as managing again, we'll see what happens, see if I get any offers, see if I like any of them. If not, then I'll just take the time off.
Now, many of Cito's players were too upset to talk about his dismissal yesterday. No one was hit harder than Joe Carter. They were very close. And finally today, Joe Carter did talk about the firing.
Cito and I go way back since '91. My first year here, you know, he was here. So to lose a person who's been here for 7 years, it's definitely emotional. And, you know, usually for managers, you don't feel that much emotion, but Cito was different because, you know, one, he treated you more as a human being and not as a manager-player type relationship.
Even he was my manager, we sometimes talk as a friends. Like, you know, if we were like any of my teammates, you know, like he called me up to the office and he told me, listen, you're making this mistake or you're doing this wrong and this, you know. And I told him, whenever I'm doing anything wrong, don't be afraid. Call me to the office and we talk about it because I just want to learn and I want to get it. I want to become a better pitcher. So through all those years, you know, he tried to help me.
I mean, we got along good, you know, nothing special. We didn't golf together or anything like that. But he was always, you know, a lot of respect. He respected me and I respect him. And he was always like that since day one. And the thing that he helped me out the most is he was with hitting.
Cito is a very important part of my life. And, you know, it was very emotional yesterday to see him leave. It's just something that you could just, you know, tip your hat and say thanks for all the times that, you know, he did do for us and all the times he did listen and care about you as a player, as a human being and not just as a player. But, you know, Robbie said it best. He's more of a father figure, a person you look up to, and a person that, you know, if you had someone there to emulate, you know, he would be that person.
And tonight, Joe Carter paying tribute to his former skip by wearing Cito's number 43 against the Orioles. And it works for him.